All right, so check me out. I think this is the wrap up for Night Witches. This is the actual Sabaton history part 2. When I did part 1, I didn't even realize that there was a part 2. But I saw that there was the following day, and I said, okay, I need to knock this out and just do that whole Night Witches series, because that's just how my brain work. I still got to go back and do a couple of Sabaton histories to catch up with the first, I think, 6 videos I did. So this is Sabaton history, female soldiers. What's this, episode 69? Let's rock. I see the setup is different. We got the band member, we got my boy, and then we have some new guy with the motherfucking cool ass mustache. So let's see what my boy with the cool ass mustache and the goddamn Da Vinci Code chain got going on. I said Da Vinci. I think about clothes too much, y'all.
I'm Pat from Sabaton.
I'm Spartacus from Sabaton History.
And I'm Indy Nidell. And as you noticed, I am not the main host of this episode. The reason why, as some of you will know from the World War II and Time Ghost channels, is that I have the coronavirus. I'm a lot better now. I was sick for 3 weeks or so. I didn't have to be hospitalized, and I didn't have the big breathing problems, but it was pretty nasty anyhow. But I still can't have anyone into my place, and I can't leave my place, which means I can't properly do any lighting or filming. So Per and Spartacus are going to do this episode together. Take it away, guys.
In the first episode about Night Witches, we talked about the female bombers.
But there are a lot of other women that fought valiantly in different wars.
I gotta say, this motherfucker looks so cool, man. Check him out. My boy said, I ain't gonna square up with the camera. I'm gonna sit at an angle, goddammit. And I'm gonna be cool as hell with my perfectly starched mustache and my hair waving. Let's rock.
And we're looking at a few of those in this episode of Sabaton History.
Damn, I just realized the music was playing in the background. They gonna flag that. I let it play too long. Fuck! This shit is crazy, man. Watching women do this is insane.
In Night...
Oh, my boy switched the fashions on my lame ass. Oh, my boy, this is Spartacus. My boy said, let me go Carlton Banks. And then we going military suited and booted. This is some fly shit, y'all. The background, everything is some fly shit. I'm sorry, I'm paying attention to everything.
Which is part 1. In Night Witches Part 1, Indy told you the story of the Soviet 588th all-female night bomber regiment, who were known as the Night Witches by the German soldiers of World War II, on whom they inflicted such misery. But they weren't the only ones who deserve remembrance for their deeds during the war. Today, let's look at some other badass women of that conflict who put themselves in danger either on or behind the front lines in the service of their country.
That's just fly. Look at her holding. I'm gonna just call it a machine gun. All right. She looks so gangster with that machine gun. I mean, she got her watch on, she got her rings on, and she is ready to unalive you right now, this moment.
When Lyudmila Pavlichenko was a teenager in Kiev, she joined one of the many paramilitary clubs of the Soviet Union. These were not only to keep reservists in shape, but were also open to the public. Pavlichenko was a born athlete and a natural with a rifle. She trained hard to outshine the boys, and she earned her marksman certificate and sharpshooter badge with ease. During the late 1930s, she enrolled into Kiev University to study history, like all badasses do, and also aced at sniping school of the Soviet Red Army. The week of the German invasion in June 1941, Pavlichenko was among the first female volunteers to stand in front of the recruiting office in Odessa. At first, they urged her to become a nurse, but Pavlichenko insisted that she wanted to fight with the infantry. A quick examination of her badges and certificates was enough to convince the recruiters, and she was sent off to serve in the 25th Shapayev Rifle Division. She was to become one of 2,000 female snipers in the Red Army during the war. Only 500 of them would survive.
Damn.
Her story goes that while her division was awaiting the advances of Axis forces on Odessa that summer, they sent out snipers to harass the enemy. At first, Pavlichenko was paralyzed by fear as the Axis advanced on her position, but suddenly the young man next to her was killed by an enemy bullet. That snapped her right out of the fear. She took his scope Mosin Nagant bolt action rifle, scored her first 2 kills of the war.
That's what I be talking about, y'all. She joined. It's go time. Fear kicks in. She's laying there like, what the fuck am I doing? Looks to her right or her left, whichever side he was on. Homie get taken out. I'm talking about gone. Right next to her. Gone. She witnessed it. And then that shit turned her into a stone cold killer. She snapped out of that shit. Oh, I could... Because that's when reality sets in. Like, oh, I could really die out here. Like, I know people died out here, and I know things can happen, but I just saw it really happen, and that could be me. Yeah, I can't play these games. It's time for me to go. It's time for me to get active. Take his weaponry and then score her first 2. And then at that point, your life changed forever. You done off 2 people. It's in your veins now. It's in your veins now.
The first of many. In just 2 months of fighting for Odessa, she is said to have killed 187
You
Axis
fucking
soldiers.
lying to me.
After Odessa fell in October, her unit was taken back to Sevastopol on the Crimea, awaiting yet another siege.
I'm sorry, y'all. Just imagine being scared shitless, watching your comrade get unalived right next to you. Reality kicking in. You grab it, you off 2 people, and then for the next 29 days, you off 185 more people. How, like, the human, bro, to rewire yourself that fast and become a whole nother person is just, it's something to be studied, boy.
October, her unit was taken back to Sevastopol on the Crimea, awaiting yet another siege. By May 1942, she had really made a name for herself and was promoted to lieutenant after marking her 257th kill. She was sent out on even more dangerous missions like counter-sniping, which was a duel to the death with enemy snipers. Pavlichenko killed 36 of them. After being hit in the face by mortar shrapnel in June, Soviet High Command took her out of the line, though. She was a well-known hero and was now too valuable to lose in combat. She was Lady Death, the female sniper with an official total kill of 309.
The number just keeps going up and up. What am I missing? This is on the ground. This ain't even in the sky. Oh man.
Once she left the hospital, Pavlichenko became a propaganda tool. She was sent overseas to Canada and the US on a publicity tour. She was the first common Soviet citizen received at the White House.
Wow.
Pavlichenko spoke freely to the crowds about her experiences at the front, how the man she loved was killed soon after their marriage, and of the terror the Germans had inflicted on her home. But while the public found this really interesting, the press seemed typically more interested in the length of her skirts, and the look of her masculine uniform, and questions like if the girl sniper wore makeup at the front. Pavlichenko remarked that the Americans should worry less about the looks of her uniform and more about what it represented. There were plenty of Americans who understood that, of course. Although Virginia Hall had lost her leg during a hunting accident in her youth, that had not deterred her from pursuing a career in travel. Hall spoke several languages fluently and had a keen interest in European politics, but when she applied to become a diplomat overseas, the U.S. Department of State...
Let me see what he about to say about her. Let me see.
But when she applied to become a diplomat overseas, the U.S. Department of State was reluctant to hire a handicapped woman. Hall, however, was determined. In 1940, while most of the American public refrained from having anything to do with the war in Europe, Hall was serving as a volunteer ambulance driver in France. Retreating from the German invasion, she heaved wounded French soldiers into her truck, driving them to safety under constant threat of attack after attack from the air.
He said exactly what the fuck I thought he was going to say about it. You telling me this woman over there with one leg, volunteering to do this. If I'm not mistaken, my boy said in the line of threat, attack after attack, she's there helping carrying wounded soldiers back to safety. Nah, bro. Built different. I might do me a built different t-shirt. Built different. These mindsets and these humans were just built different. That's all I can say about them.
Driving them to safety under constant threat of attack after attack from the air. After France fell, she escaped to Spain, where she made the acquaintance of a British intelligence officer. The officer was intrigued by Hall's dedication to fighting the Nazis and put her in contact with the newly formed Special Operations Executive in London. The SOE was trying to infiltrate occupied Europe, but so far, the 50-50 chance for agents to survive the first weeks after insertion did not bring in many enthusiastic volunteers. And although the agency was reluctant to deploy a handicapped woman, they decided to put Hall into Section F, France. By April 1941, she had been inserted into Vichy, France, and occupied a safe house in the city of Lyon. Her cover was that of a reporter from the New York Post, who was there to gather stories about life under the new regime. The first thing she had to learn was to move around without being suspicious. She had different outfits and hairstyles prepared and made use of heavy makeup and disguises when she...
So this woman a legit handicapped, one leg, amputee spy? Y'all better tell me right now. You better fucking tell me right now that there's a movie about this woman. Y'all better tell me.
Different outfits and hairstyles prepared and made use of heavy makeup and disguises when she needed to turn into a different person for a while. It was doubt that kept her alive, and a strong sense for danger was her best ally. Hal knew when to lay low when the French police was raiding houses or watching meeting points of suspected SOE agents. Nonetheless, she soon built up her own network of informers and worked closely with the French resistance. Over the winter of 1941-42, she used a brothel to hide exposed agents or British pilots that had been shot down over France before smuggling them out to Spain. Her most famous feat was an actual prison break where Hall's network freed several agents from a French prison. By mid-1942, her activities attracted more and more attention from the German secret police. And after the prison break stunt, they began cracking down hard on the resistant movements for which Lyon had become.
This woman infiltrated government prisons and broke multiple people out. and like actually help them escape and be free. This shit is fantastic. This shit is becoming a little better than television, y'all. I'm just gonna keep it real with y'all. Like, I find myself saying, let me sit down and watch some TV, and I'm like, nah, maybe I should just sit down and react to something, because this shit real that I'm reacting to, and it's blowing my mind brains out of my skull.
They began cracking down hard on the resistant movements for which Lyon had become a hotspot. Hall even attracted the attention of the Gestapo leader Klaus Barbie, known as the Butcher of Lyon, who supposedly said that he couldn't wait to get his hands on that limping bitch.
Is this the limping lady that y'all been telling me to react to on Fat Electrician? Is this the limping lady? Is this the limping lady? Is Virginia Hall the limping lady that y'all been telling me to react to? Oh, this shit is... How is this shit this good, y'all? How have I gone so long without this? How have I gone so long without this? This shit is almost like a drug at this point, y'all. What? This ain't the limping lady.
He said that he couldn't wait to get his hands on that limping bitch. After the Allied invasion of North Africa, in November 1942, France became too dangerous for Hall, and she fled the country. She then joined the OSS American Intelligence. Although the OSS was at first, like everyone, reluctant to employ a handicapped woman, by 1944, Hall was back operating in France. Disguised as an old woman, she supported several resistance groups and prepared safe houses for agents.
Oh my God, this is what I'm saying, bro. She had to flee because her life was in danger. And then she just said, fuck it, send me back. I don't care. Come on, I'm about this life. Fuck them folks. Send me back. I'm about this shit. I promise. I swear I'm about this. That's just something. That's just something. And I could imagine her fleeing for her life and then getting somewhere safe and just being like, this is boring. I need to be back in danger somewhere.
In the south of France until the Germans retreated. Virginia Hall had survived far longer than many other agents, and she laid the groundwork for many espionage techniques that are still in use today. But she had to fight hard to do it, not only against the enemy, but against all the doubt from within the ranks of her own.
This is so good. This is so good. No, she didn't just disable what's it when you get a gun out of somebody's hand? It's not disable. Wrong term. I don't know. Y'all let me know. No, she just didn't pin my boy down and take all his shit. Let me just say that then. Took all this shit. Handed his pistol off to somebody else. Hey man, go take this. I got him.
Before the war, Simone Segouin had lived a normal teenage life southwest of Paris. Her father had been politically active in her hometown and was very vocal against the German occupation, and she greatly admired his patriotism. Now, he had fought in the Great War as a volunteer. In this war, she wanted to do her part. The German conscripted her to work as a seamstress in Paris, a big mistake in hindsight, because in her workplace, she made contact with members of the underground resistance. They fixed her a fake passport under the name of Nicole Minet from Dunkirk. Her first mission was to prove herself to the resistance and steal a bicycle from a German officer. She then used that bike to transport secret messages between resistance members in the town of Chartres. As a young woman, she was less conspicuous and had an easier time moving around among the German soldiers than a man would. Always on the lookout for high-profile targets, Segouin was soon involved in several sabotage and demolition missions in the area. The young, courageous, and reliable woman made such an impression on the resistance fighters that they trained her in the use of firearms. As the war neared its end, Segouin's unit took to street fighting the retreating German soldiers during the liberation of Chartres. Segouin, submachine gun in hand, assisted in arresting 25 German soldiers. Then, the famous war photographer Robert Capa came upon her unit, and he took the famous picture of Simone Segouin with her German submachine gun. Segouin soon became a symbol for the young generation that fought against the German occupation, for resistance valued courage and activism, no matter the gender.
That is crazy.
The idea that women can be warriors equal to men is maybe best visually depicted in the photo of Kozarchanka. In the winter of 1943-44, the renowned war photographer George Skrigin traveled through the region of Kozara in the western Bosnia. There, he encountered a group of guerrilla fighters. See, by this time, large parts of Yugoslavia had come under the effective control of partisans who were fairly successfully fighting the Axis occupation. Skrigin approached the partisan leader and asked if he could take pictures of the group. Among the female medics was the 17-year-old Milja Toroman, a Bosnian Serb who grew up in a small village near Mount Kozara. Wearing a cardigan, Milja swung a rifle over her shoulder, adjusted her Titovka cap, and smiled as she turned her head. At that moment, Skrigin took the photo. In 1968, long after the victory of the partisans, Skrigin...
Bruh, my grandparents were alive. Like, while this is happening, my actual bloodline was having everyday life wherever they were. And this young woman is over there with a machine gun taking down German soldiers. God! Like, that reality is real. Like, that reality is real. That actually, while people were just minding their business, living what we who just get to be at home and not deal with incoming fire, what we call a regular hard life, that's what we call ourselves dealing with. And she is out there with a machine gun taking down German soldiers. Boy, some shit is just fire, y'all. And that's it, like this photo.
In 1968, long after the victory of the partisans, Skrigin published this photograph in a book of his war photography. There, Milja became Kozarchanka, the girl from Kozara. Skrigin simply described her as a young girl who had fled German captivity and joined the partisans to fight the fascists. The photograph was a huge hit, and Kozarchanka became a Yugoslavian icon. She embodied the partisan struggle and was a perfect fit for the propaganda of the communist Yugoslav state. It was a symbol that despite the danger of war, the partisans remained enthusiastic about their coming victory. Kozarchanka's smile expressed confidence and optimism. Her girlish innocence contrasted by the rifle across her shoulder. The true identity behind Kozarchanka was not ever revealed until the collapse of Yugoslavia.
Wow.
Yet, though it was a staged photograph, Milja still remains a symbol, not only of the struggle of the Yugoslav partisans and the many women that fought in it, but the many women who fought for their beliefs, their nations, and their freedom during that great conflict, as well or even better than any man ever could.
So, okay, so all of these stories have been about women on the ground. Like in the thick of things, like even though the pilots were definitely in the thick of things, you get what I'm saying? Like the spying, the costumes, the different identities, penetrating governments and fucking infantries and goddamn breaking people out of fucking jail, prison. This is there's some different shit, y'all.
So, but Per, despite that you're a metal band and you sing about something very, very male, war, you have a lot of female fans, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of people who think that Sabaton only have male fans because it would suit the topic. Obviously, these days it's very easy to get some statistics of who is coming to the shows, who is listening to our music and stuff like that. And because of a project that I was working on, I was collecting a lot of statistics, especially from the last tour and from a lot of other things. And it varies about 30 to 45% is the females that are showing up at our concerts.
Wow.
The Sabaton crew sticks out with a little bit more of women present. So I don't know if it's that we are so attractive that the girls come, or that they just like that we sing heavy metal songs. But I'm very happy to have the diversity of this.
And you have an all-female fan club as well, right?
Yes, we do, and it ties to this episode because obviously they are the Sabaton witches, so it's the all-female regiment of.
This is the. I'll be remembering. Y'all told me in the comment section that they have a female group of fans called the Sabaton Witches, and it was based off of the Night Witches videos that they've done. Fire, so fire.
Sabaton fans.
Hey, and we also have the newest member of our team, Maria. She runs a doom metal club in Stockholm when she's not working for us, and that's yet another female metalhead.
Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely. And in the next, we're going to introduce Maria properly in the next episode, because you guys who are part of the different tiers on the Sabaton History Patreon group, you will have a lot to do with Maria in the future, because she's taking over all of that. She already did. She's already taken over that. Indian Pair, talking about patrons and our exclusive content that we make for patrons, there's something exciting coming up on Sunday, right?
Yeah, that's true. We're going to have a streaming session, including me, Joachim, and you, Indy.
And
me. We're going to talk about different things, talk to the patrons, and answer a couple of questions, and have a little bit of interactive online hangout meeting with patrons.
Yeah, like half an hour or so, something like that, for a little while. Yeah.
Yeah, we've already started collecting questions from the patrons. So it's going to work like, it's going to be fun. And it's going to work like this. The patrons get to ask questions and are actually there live for the live stream. But we are going to put the live stream up after.
I don't know much about Patreon, but you could do all of that. So in my head, it was, I keep having to cover these videos because of copyright claims. I'll just upload the unmasked versions on Patreon. But from what I'm getting from them, the Patreon should be completely different content. Well, not completely different content as far as subject, but as far as, like, if I said, okay, I'm just going to put the Sabaton histories on Patreon, and I'm going to just do the videos here on YouTube. Is that kind of how that should work? Let me know. Y'all know better than me because y'all are actual Patreon. I've never subscribed to one, and I just know that it's a place where you don't have to deal with copyright claims. That's all I know about Patreon. Let me know.
After it's done, so that you can view it on YouTube as well, if you are unfortunate enough to not be part of the exclusive and wonderful group that is the Sabaton History Patreon group.
Great. Hopefully I won't be so interrupted by a Russian team of climbers that is the first people I see in a while that is actually climbing down on my balcony right now using ropes, making this look like some kind of insertion of special forces. I'm not sure what they actually plan to do, but if I'm abducted soon, this will be a very legendary broadcast. That's right. For sure.
Pair, abducted by Spetsnaz in the middle of the Corona crisis.
Yeah, that would be a story for sure.
So, but you're in Moscow right now, Per, right?
Yeah, I've been in Moscow since the ending of our tour. In March, we had a tour in Russia, and we had to cancel it after the corona put an end to all the shows. And since then, I've been here. So I'm actually working on some interesting projects for the future. Something that I think a lot of people have been looking forward and will be quite surprised when we launch. So I'm not sitting here and feeling horrible and locked in for another reason. So we have something really cool coming up in some years from now on, but it's a big project, so it started already now.
Well, that is it for today, ladies and gentlemen, but I and Per and maybe even Sparty will see you soon
Here on the Sabaton History channel. Thank you so much for watching.
Look at that crowd. Fist pumping for real. Like, this shit real, y'all. Like it's real. Like, when I go, I'm going to be fist pumping my fucking fist in the air. Okay, y'all. Okay.
Listen to me, everybody. We love the Sabaton History channel. If you do it, please share it with us. Support it on Patreon, YouTube, and any way you want. Thank you for your support. Let's do this forever.
Okay. That was a different kind of night witch. I'm thinking they about to go back in the air. These are women that were on the ground. So while they handling business in the air, it was women handling business on the ground as well. The night witches, they broadened their horizon. It wasn't just pilots, it was spies. That woman had one leg, y'all, and did all of that. This shit is incredible. I'm gonna catch y'all next Sabaton reaction. I don't know what I'm gonna do next. Oh, it's a live concert that everyone keeps saying I need to react to. I forget the name of it because they spell it and they tell me I gotta cut on the captions. So I might do that next. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. What else? I think that's it, y'all. I thought I had something else to say, but I don't. I'll catch y'all next reaction. Peace.